life would be like, right? We have it all figured out. So if you were a little girl, you probably wanted to marry a prince, right? I did. I married a prince. I'm trying to get brownie points with my mother-in-law. You probably wanted at least 2.5 kids. I failed in that area. I have 8.
Amen.
You wanted a big house, and with the house came the maid, right? We all wanted the maid. We didn't know how we were going to pay for it. We never talked about the finances, because why would you need to?
Amen.
You wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer, and a vet. Not the or, the and. You wanted to be and. And when someone challenged you, how are you going to do all that? How are you going to go to college and be all these things when you just had it figured out? And if you were a boy, you probably wanted to marry some gorgeous woman, a supermodel. Men, you better look to your wives right now and say, oh, but I did.
Amen. Amen. I did.
Amen. Thank you. You wanted some fancy, schmancy sport car, right? Maybe yellow or blue, really bright. Didn't know how you were going to pay for it, man. You didn't care. It didn't matter if you went into debt for it. You didn't even know what debt was. You wanted to be rich and famous. You wanted to have it all. Remember those days? Remember when you thought you had life all figured out? The girls would go into the bathroom and we would talk about it. Maybe chart it out on paper. Remember that game MASH? For those of you who are young enough to remember that? Does anyone remember that when you play MASH at the top? Yeah, okay, here we go. Now I feel really old. You had it all figured out. The boys sat around the lunchroom table and talked about the things that you already had and how you were going to attain more, right? More. Even then, you had an idea of what you thought happiness was going to look like. And it contained stuff. And then we grew up. And some of us went off to college, and some of us, we went off to the work world. I went off to the work world.
Amen.
I worked for everything that I had, and as a single mom, I worked for everything that my children had. I mean, even those that worked, and you might have been in a 2-parent family, you worked for the things that your children had. And see, I had to work that much harder because I didn't have that 2 income. And there were times that I just scraped together and I had to save, but by God, we were going to have happiness. We were going to attain stuff. The more that I started thinking about these scriptures this morning, the more I started thinking about that stuff. You see, we all have something in common. We are born with this void.
Amen.
God has given us, it's a God-given void.
Amen. Amen.
But what do we fill it with?
Amen. Yeah.
See, we get so busy chasing, right?
Amen.
We chase things. We chase more. And I don't care what it is. Dwayne stood up here and said, it doesn't matter what your ism is. We all have them.
That's right.
Sin is an ism.
That's right.
And we've all sinned and fallen short.
Amen. Come on.
But we're chasing. We're on the hunt. It's what we were built to do. But this morning I'm going to ask the question, what are you hunting for?
Oh, Lord.
What are you chasing? What is it that you were trying to fill with that God-given void that we were given? Just naturally. Because we are children of the Almighty God. Why is it that Jesus is not enough? Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, I just ask you right now, Lord, it has been a long couple of weeks. I thank you for this church. I thank you for the way that they have rallied around us. I thank you for the strength and everything that we have gained from them. And I thank you because I know that it is you that has infused them. And so this morning, I lean on them and I lean on you. Help these words to just burst forth. Help it not to be me, but all of you. And it's in your mighty name I pray.
Amen.
Amen. So, do not be afraid, little flock. For it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give alms. Make purses for yourself that do not wear out. An unfailing treasure in heaven where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. That passage starts out with do not be afraid. But if you missed it, the passages before it talk about do not worry.
Amen.
Do not worry. See, most of us spend our whole lives worrying, don't we?
Amen.
We worry about the necessities, and some of us, we worry about the necessities more than others. But no matter who you are, if you have children, you worry about their necessities, right? How are you going to provide for them? Some of us, we worry about our parents. Our parents are getting up in age, and so we want to take care of them, and we need to worry about the necessities. See, they spent their whole lives worrying about us, and now it's our turn to worry about them.
That's right.
But we worry because that's who we were created to be. I've heard a story before from someone who I love dearly about how they understood the finances in their home, even from a small child. They worried about money. I was raised by a single father who never put that worry off on me. I never worried about it. I never knew where things were coming from. I just knew that I had them. And as I got older, I started to recognize things. See, my father wore holy jeans to work every day. He's in irrigation. He worked for somebody then. He now has his own company. But he wore these jeans that just looked ratted and tattered. And if my friends would have seen him, I would have been so embarrassed. He had duct tape on the back of his hind end to cover up a hole.
Come on now.
But I'll tell you what, remember those jeans, those ones, girls, that had the zippers on the side?
Yeah.
I wore those jeans.
Daddy.
I had those jeans.
Yeah, you do.
I told you I married a prince. My father wore electrical tape around his boot to keep it up while the water seeped in to his socks, so that I can have those Reeboks. You know, they weren't the top of the line, they weren't the Nikes that were just out on the market, but by golly, they were the shoes that I wasn't going to get picked on at school for.
Yes.
Because he never wanted me to worry about that.
Amen.
So he did what he had to do. He worried about the necessities. And let's be honest. We know we're not supposed to worry because our Father does the worrying for us, right? But we do. We worry. We worry so much that it worries us sick. We worry so much that it causes health problems. We worry so much that it causes problems within our families. Do you know that there's two top reasons why marriages fail? It's infidelity and it's financial issues. Because one always leads into another. It's a domino effect.
Amen.
And so when Christ is saying, when the words are saying, do not be afraid, something came before that being afraid, right? We were worried. And worry comes with guilt and with shame that we have not attained. We have not risen to that expectation. Somebody, something has put that great expectation on us, and we just know we have to climb up. We have to get somewhere. See, my father was afraid because the world was dictating to me what I should wear and what I should do, and so he had to rise to that occasion to make sure that I didn't have to worry.
That's right.
The market, the producers, the stores, the advertisements, the billboards, the commercials, all dictate for us what we should have, right?
Yes.
And we worry that if we don't have it, we're failing somehow. We get a lot of invitations daily. And invitations come from every place for us to consume something, to fill that void, that God-given void that is within us. We receive those invitations to fill it. We did an experiment that I'm going to do with you here in a second. We did an experiment in Bible study on Wednesday. And I've gotten some really good feedback on this, so I decided we're going to do this morning. So I want to know, how many invitations do you think you receive a day? See, we get them from all over the place. So let's just say, how many billboards do you think you pass in a day? And I actually have a person who has an answer because she left Bible study and she went and she counted how many billboards she passed from church to home or home to church. Kim, how many billboards?
70.
70.
Wow.
70 invitations to consume something that will fill that void. How about your emails? Somebody spit out a number to me. How many emails do you get a day?
2,000.
2,000, you think? Are you serious? Or those pastors' numbers? I think those are pastors' numbers. How many? 45. We're going to take that number. I need somebody with a calculator real quick so we can save time. You got it? Thank you. All right, how many text messages or phone calls do you think you receive in a day? Telemarketers. How many? 10. 10, 15. We're going to go with 10. Miss Lorna brought up in Bible study about catalogs, and she said she at least 10. Now, here's a big one. How many times do you think on Facebook or social media you are exposed? You know, over to the right-hand side, they just automatically seem to know exactly what you need, huh? Or what you want. Because they're watching your search engines. Word it.
40.
40. All right, Chris, give me an answer.
175.
175. Now in Bible study, we got 112. 175 invitations you receive daily, and this isn't an exhaustive list, that you receive daily to consume something other than Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Do you see that? Do you see how the world dictates for us what we should fill ourselves with? I was in Marshall's this past Friday morning. Michael was going to homecoming, and Angel, God love her, she is growing like a weed. Her legs are up to here, so her shorts and her dresses, sometimes I just have to shake my head and go, you need to go change, even at 10. But I was in Marshall's, and how many of you ever been to Marshall's before? Been to Marshall's? Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when you walk through the aisles, right, you got gadgets, you got nice colorful things on both sides, right? You have all that stuff that can catch your eye, those treasures are there, right? No rhyme or reason, really. I mean, they just kind of, looks like throw the stuff up there. And you have to go through this maze. So like for me to where Michelle is right now, Michelle, raise your hand. You're going through this maze to get to the cash register. And there's always someone in front of you and behind you. What do we do along the way? We stop. We stop. Then we look. And then we turn. And we look. And we touch this. And we mess with that. And constantly we're being invited. Well, this lady that was in front of me on Friday, instinctively, and I loved it because she fell right in. She said, man, what they will do to take the eye off the real gold and put it on the treasure that they think you need. And that's exactly, that was my reaction. I went, God, that's it right there. That is it. And you know, it started me thinking as I was driving. Even as a Christian, I know what the goal should be, right? We know what the goal should be. Oh, but the market knows how to put out stuff that will catch even our eye. Now, I'm not going to ask for show hands this morning, but how many of us own a shirt as a Christian that says, "Got Jesus"? And we say it's an evangelism tool. It was an evangelism tool to them too, see? Not just about Jesus Christ, but about the Almighty God. Yeah. How many of us have a coffee cup that says Jesus in my coffee?
Me.
It's lies. See, it's stuff. It's things that redirect our real, true needs. See, that's what Jesus is talking about in these scriptures. He's telling us to give away our alms. And if you don't know what alms are, those are our things, our stuff that we give away to those who actually need it. Because I can tell you this morning, I see we all got shoes on and we all have clothes on and most of us looking pretty, and I don't know if you smell good or not, but the person next to you knows that. So I don't think we really truly need anything. Can you sit here this morning and say that you need something? Maybe we're all at different levels. But do you really need that thing? See, we have to work beyond the normal hours in order to attain that stuff that fills that void. We have to spend an extra amount of time. I think it was Skylar on Wednesday that pointed out about the big, huge yards that we have to mow, so it takes up our time. Hey, I ain't got time to go to church. I ain't got time to be over there right now. I got this yard to mow. I'm feeling guilty because I haven't taken care of my house. I'm feeling like I need to. Oh, you want to preach about the tithe? oh, then we want to squirm in our seat, right? We want to get a little uncomfortable when that preaching comes and we're talking about the tithe. That week we're putting 10% in the basket, and I'm not trying to meddle this morning. But it's when someone calls us out on it that we begin to want to step the right foot in, right?
Yes.
And begin to walk straight. But how long do we walk straight? Is it consistent? See, I think that that's what Christ is calling us to when he says the treasure. What do you treasure? I'm not telling us to go home and to get rid of all our stuff. I tried that in the last couple weeks. See, I've been feeling very convicted lately. And I've been on a merry-go-round, and my husband's smiling right now because he knows. I have taken a whole lot of stuff out of my house. And I've replaced it with other stuff, I'll be honest with you. But I'm just going to speak from a woman's perspective right now. This is what I know to be true in my own life. I go into a store and I purchase that shirt that looks like the other 4 shirts in my closet. And one of those shirts ends up on the floor. And so now I've spent the money to buy that shirt that is now ending up on the floor, that now has to go to the laundry, which costs me more money, which in return costs me time. And then I'm talking about, well, I can't eat with you to do lunch because I don't have time.
Come on now.
Where are my priorities?
Come on now.
Where are our priorities when we do that? So the question is, how do we decline the invitation to participate in the drama and demands of the world in our lives and refocus our desires? How do we satisfy that thirst for more? We don't. But there's one that does. See, it's Jesus Christ. And it's not about changing the way that we see the world, but it's about the way we live in the world. It's about the way that we fill our hearts, how we go about doing it, and our priorities. I'm not subtly telling us to turn everything upside down, but I am boldly telling us this morning that we better get a grip, and we have to evaluate, where is our treasure? Because see, if we don't dictate, if we don't tell the world where our treasure is, the world is going to tell us.
Yes.
And then you're going to have a whole lot more to worry about and a whole lot more to be afraid of. And it's not just going to be squirming in our seats about the tithe, but it's going to be squirming in our seats when that day comes. And Jesus asks us, what filled your heart? What did you do? And in whose name did you do it in? Let's pray. Father, I just thank you so much for this, convicting word. Father, I think that all of us can gain something from this morning. That as we leave, we can begin to refocus our attentions. And it's not about not living in the world, but it's about not letting the world dictate to us what our treasure is, where our time is spent, where our money is spent. It's about not allowing the invitations that the world sends out to be parties we have to show up to. Lord, I thank you for this church, and I thank you that this church extends its hand to the broken, the lost, and the least. Help each and every one of us to be able to find time to serve in that mission. And I just thank you for all that you do. Amen.
Amen.
So we conclude our time this morning at the table. Sorry, everybody on my left. This is the invitation. This is the time for us to respond to God's grace and whatever's been stirring in your heart this morning. You know, the scriptures say that the borrower is a slave to the lender. And then all those invitations actually have a cost. And before we know it, we're buried in debt. We're living above our means. And the word that was proclaimed contemplate today is how do we minimize those things? How do we put Jesus' invitation before all those others? And how do we faithfully put ourselves in a position where when the Spirit compels us and says you need to give to that person or that situation, you need to be faithful in your tithes and offerings, that we're in a place of financial freedom where we can do that. Amen. And that takes intentionality and time and budgeting. And Wesley says it really simply: earn all you can, save all you can, so you can give all you can.
Amen.
There's no greater blessing in the world than to give.
That's right.
Because God blesses us to be a blessing. And when we figure that out, we become a channel that God redistributes His resources through us. And we stop living in that scarcity mentality. We realize that there's always enough. That there's always abundance overflow in God's kingdom.
That's right.
And God invites us this morning to the abundant overflow of His grace. This table, this meal of forgiveness. And all are welcome. That final night when Jesus was betrayed, He gathered with His disciples in a common room, and He took a loaf of bread. It wasn't even a fancy Hawaiian roll like this one from Publix. It was the leftover bread with a bunch of road-worn, dirty disciples. And He lifted it up in their midst, and He broke it and said, "This is my body, take and eat." And then He lifted up the cup among them and said, "This is the blood of the new covenant shed for the forgiveness of sins. Take and drink, all of you, and do this always in remembrance of me." And so in remembrance of these, your mighty acts of Jesus Christ, we offer ourselves in praise and thanksgiving as a holy and living sacrifice as we proclaim the mystery of the faith. That Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. All honor and glory is yours, Almighty Father God, now and forevermore. And all God's people said, Amen. Let's extend our hands together over the elements as we consecrate them together.